Hey, it's Paul with RackOutfitters.com, here to show you the Thule Evo Clamp WingBar Evo base roof rack system for bare roofs. Here we have a vehicle with a bare roof, and we've pre-assembled and installed the front bar system. And here on the bench, we've pre-assembled part of the rack with the driver's side foot pre-installed, and we've left the passenger side completely unassembled and uninstalled so that we can go over all the details to help demonstrate how this is assembled and installed onto the vehicle. So this is a 3-component system. It includes the Evo Clamp, which includes 4 feet, also includes a special torque wrench, a measuring tape, instructions, and a lock housing plug. Over here we have the vehicle specific fitting kit. This is made specifically for the Evo Clamp. It includes 4 rubberized metal door frame brackets. It also includes 4 rubber contact pads that are contoured specifically for the vehicle. It'll also include the vehicle specific instructions, which provide exact placement of all those components and where it's positioned on the vehicle. Also very important is the set of stickers that are applied to the feet to determine exactly which of the components go on each foot. Then lastly, we have the WingBar Evo. This is an aluminum load bar with a structured internal box beam construction. It has a slot on the underside with a measuring device. Also included to fill in the track between the end of the foot and the bar, and that will minimize wind noise. Also included is the end cap, which features a swing away. We'll go ahead and move on and demonstrate some of these features. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take the Evo Clamp foot and identify it with its corresponding sticker. So we've already used up the 3 other stickers for the previous feet that we've installed. We'll go ahead and put that sticker on the back side of the foot, and from this point on, this will always indicate that it's for the right rear. And so all we have to do is go to the page where we have the stickers for the right rear, and it'll tell us exactly what goes on that foot. So it needs to be the 151 bracket, and here we can identify that this is the 151 bracket, and then the 206 base pad, and here we can identify that this is the 206 base pad. So if you have that sticker and you go in use that method, it'll keep things organized and you'll be successful in your first install. So here you have the internal workings, and all I did was disconnect this. There's a tab on this side of this cover, and I'll just pull against that tab and it'll release that panel. And then you have the only really item here that you'll be working with is this push-in lever. So what that push-in lever will allow us to slide the foot onto the bar. But first, let's go ahead and install the rubber base pad. You'll see the shape of this rotating base matches the shape of the pad. So we just want to align that, and you want to press down around the perimeter of the pad so it's fully seated onto that base. So there's edges all around the perimeter that you want to make sure are engaged. Next, we'll take the bracket and insert it. You'll feel a definite click when it's inserted fully, and now that's assembled and ready to be installed onto the bar. So let's do that next. So when we install the foot onto the bar, we'll be using this smart slide to tell us exactly where it's positioned within the track. So to do that, we move on to the other set of our instructions, which will identify what bar you're using, and in this case it's called the scale. So this is scale number 36.5. So all we have to do is we'll move this scale back and forth until we see the number, and we get the number to where there's 35, 36, and 36.5. Okay, so then at this point, we'll take the foot and slide it towards the bar. And this is where you'll press in that lever. Let me show you exactly what's happening when you're pressing in the lever. So when you press in the lever, it allows for the space needed, so it slides back and forth. When I release the lever, it grips. When I press the lever in, it allows it to slide back and forth. Okay, so let's make sure that's stayed at our 36.5. It is. Now, what we want to do is fill in the rest of this underside with the provided fill strip. So I'll just press it into place. And with just a standard household scissors, you can snip that. And you can see where I've stopped just before that enlarged area of the end of the bar. And that'll provide the space we need to insert the end cap. So I have the end cap upside down right now. I'll insert it and just give it a firm press. And now that's engaged into the end of the bar. On the top side of the bar, we have the rubber fill strip on the top side, and for that I've already pressed in the majority of it, and we'll just continue on and press in the remaining section. And that just presses into the bar, and that also is very important for the overall aerodynamics of this roof rack system. You have a diffuser at the front and then a fill in the back. It's split down in the middle. When you open up the end cap, here in my hand I have a square-headed bolt, which is a method of attachment to the bars. You'll see how that allows for certain carriers to slide directly into the bar without any modification of this rubber strip. No need to cut the strip. So I'll take that out, snap that back down. Now we're at the stage we can go ahead and take this fully assembled rear crossbar over to the vehicle. When you're installing that, I have with me, I'll take the instruction sheet from the fit kit, my measuring tape, I have the bar, and I also have the torque tool that's included. So when you do this, first of all, we've washed the vehicle. It's completely clean. That's very important. I have the driver's side doors are open, and I'll just extend the rack over and beyond and then pull it towards me. Okay, so the next step, I'm just estimating the distance from the front bar to the rear bar. And next I'll go ahead and use the instructions to confirm that. So we have Z, which is 200 millimeters, and that's already been measured out on the front bar. And here we can see that distance is 200 millimeters. And then the next measurement will be from the front bar to the rear bar, which is 680 millimeters. So all I have to do is move the bar back, and the distance from the front of the bar to the front of the bar is 680 millimeters. They also provide inches if you're more comfortable with inches. Okay, so I'm going to go to the other side and make sure that it too has that measurement. .680. And you'll use your measuring tape throughout the install. So keep it with you as you're installing to double check that measurement as you go through. So that's 680, and I'll do it again here. So just continually checking to make sure that it stays where you've left it. Okay, there's 680. Now the next step is you want to bring your door frame bracket into the door frame. Also, you'll see on the instructions they show the pad placement, a cross section of how you can expect it to be fitted to the door frame. And so I'm checking for that as well to make sure it's in the correct area on the rooftop. You'll also notice I'm able to rotate the foot in the bar in order to get the alignment correct. Next, I'll use this tool, and to begin with, I only want to partially tighten this just to where it's engaged and it's snug, and also that this bracket is following the contour of the door frame. So once I feel that's good, I'll go to the opposite side. I'm going to check this again just to make sure that it's not moved. It's still in the 680 millimeter position. So now I have this side at about 80% tight, and this side was about at 50% tight, so now I can go ahead and bring this one up. And this tool has a special torque indicator to ensure that it's not over or under tightened. I'll go to the other side again. I'm also checking that the side to side placement is correct. Okay, so that one clicked out. So the driver's side is complete. And then there's the passenger side, that's complete. Okay, so next, we'll want to go ahead and put our cover on. And now with that cover on, we can do one of two things. Included with the system is a plastic plug. And the plastic plug has a tab, and inside the lock housing is a ramp. So I align the two together and push in, and then you can use a key or a coin or a screwdriver to turn that, and that ensures that this cover won't come off. However, that's not a theft deterrent, it's just what holds this outer cover on. If you do want a theft deterrent, then you have the option for that. That's sold separately from this rack system. So instead of the plastic plug, you would use an actual metal lock cylinder with a key. And that installs in a similar way, where you can simply align this wafer with that same area inside the lock housing, insert, turn, and lock. So it doesn't require a special key. However, they do make another key that's used for removal, which is this key. This can be used for install and removal. So I'll unlock it. Of course, it only works when it's unlocked. And then now I can push it out to transfer it to another vehicle, or key match if needed. It can also be installed with this tool. So there's two methods of installation that are available. So if you don't have this tool, it's still possible to install a lock cylinder without it. And then back on this side, we'll finish this side off with its cover. And now we have a complete install of the Thule Evo Clamp WingBar Evo base roof rack system. It's always important to check to make sure you have a very secure fit, which we do. And now you have an excellent carrying solution for gear. This product and the full line of Thule products are available at rackoutfitters.com. Please see the link in our video description for complete details, our pricing, and our promotion on these systems. And thanks for watching.